You're listening to A Creative Excuse presented by Hecho, Mano. I'm Frank Rose.
And I'm Cara Duvall. This episode is with Santa Fe-based artist Moira Garcia, whose exhibition opens Friday, February 6th from 5 to 7 p.m.
We talk about her journey around the globe, adding layers of meaning to infuse her art practice. We learn about the Nahuatl language and how flowers are more than just a pretty bloom.
If you're listening to this before Sunday, February 8th, Moira will be doing an artist talk at the gallery from 12 to 1:30. We'll have free coffee and donuts and live music from John Francis Mustaine.
We'd really love it if you subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcast platform, and if you're feeling extra supportive, write a review.
Thanks for listening.
Here we are.
Look at you. You're wearing flower. Did you purposefully pick that?
I did not. I'm wearing flowers.
Check that out. He's wearing flowers.
This is Lahua's design.
Yeah, I was thinking you got some lehua.
Yeah.
You know the lehua flowers, the red one.
Yeah.
With the little...
The berry one or the one that has the...
Like the spikes?
The little like... What it was like... Pizzazz.
Yeah.
Flash.
I should have saved that for the opening.
You could always...
You can wear it again.
Do I have another flower shirt?
You probably do.
I probably do.
But yeah. He didn't even know, but he was so in alignment.
I was in tune.
You were
I was in tune with the flowers.
The flowers.
As usual.
Yeah.
That's right.
You're a pretty in tune type of guy.
I try to. It's how I listen. It's like that intuitive sense is sort of like how the gallery's been built. It's like just, I don't come from like an intellectual point of view with all of it. And it's really about like what's resonating. So yeah, it's been interesting. I've been really working on trying to kind of articulate that more and create sort of a framework around, what that intuitive thing is sensing, and also what the ecosystem around it, is, just trying to be more, I think, conscious of the framework, it's been fun.
Yeah, I like that, building an intuitive framework.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Because it's something that like I think will help me, notice things more quickly in terms of what is working, what doesn't fit, what does fit. Because the ecosystem has like, it's beyond me at this point. It was never all about me, but at the very beginning, I was the sort of main input. And as it's grown, it's like now it's like all these relationships with artists, the work itself, the building, the clients, it's like all of these sort of intersecting lines, and so understanding what the ecosystem is and like what impacts it goes beyond my intuitive sense now. And I can't contain it. So understanding, I think, where I am and was coming from and like what the ecosystem is now will help me, I think, to make better decisions and also like convey to staff and like whoever's working with us and things like that. So, yeah.
That makes me think of flowers.
Yeah. Tell me how.
I had this image come to mind as you were speaking of that and saying the ecosystem of just all the different kinds of plants and flowers all having this perfect timing of when to open and when to close. And we were talking before this about morning glories because they're in your pieces, in one of the pieces, and then trumpet vines and how they all, open to the sun or to the moon at this like perfect timing.
Yeah.
And it's something, it's not just with the, I guess what you could say, the intellect. It's something, it's like a
innate
yeah,
organic.
Yeah. Here's an organic right turn.
So wouldn't that be left? No,
I don't know which way it's going. So you grew up in New Mexico.
I actually grew up in Hawaii.
You grew up in Hawaii?
Yes.
Check that out.
Wow, okay.
That's why I know about the lehua.
Aha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
But I was born in New Mexico.
You were born in New Mexico.
Oh.
Okay.
When did you move to Hawaii?
2 years old.
Mm.
Yeah. So my first memories are there. You know, and went all through my schooling, elementary, high school, and then I left soon after high school, like a year or two afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got indoctrinated in flowers.
I guess you could say that. Absorbed,
Yeah.
loved, you know.
Yeah.
You know, in Hawaii we give each other flower lays. I grew up dancing hula. So yeah, it was a big part of my childhood. Wearing flowers, you know, picking flowers, harvesting flowers, knowing how to make lei and dancing. Yeah.
Basking in flowers.
Basking in the beauty of the scents and the beauty of it all. Yeah.
Which island?
Kauai.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah, I thought you guys knew that, but it's been a while.
You probably mentioned it before. I mean, it's ringing a bell.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. We went to, I went to Hawaii with my dad when I was a little kid, but as an adult, we went maybe 10 years ago, 2015.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
And it was interesting because I didn't really have memories of the time I went when I was a kid. And I was sort of like not expecting as deep of an experience as I had. I think because of like the sort of veil of tourism that kind of gets glossed onto it. I was like, I'm sure it's going to be beautiful and we'll have a good time. But I was thinking like, oh, this is going to be like, I don't know, like a Disneyland experience. And it really wasn't. Yeah.
Oh, that's good to hear. Yeah.
Really, impactful. We went to Maui, but it was, really, really impactful.
Yeah.
So not too many crowds.
There wasn't. No, not that I remember. Yeah.
God, I'm trying to remember the neighborhood, like the area that we were in.
Where Natalie and Michael's place was?
Yeah.
Kula, up country?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, up in the mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And definitely the flowers and the ocean. I think that was what was so surprising to me, was how animated I felt the ocean was.
Yeah, it's alive.
It's alive. And it was calling me multiple times. I was like, ocean.
Why?
Well, there was this one hike we went on that it was near Hana State Park, I believe. And we were going through big banyan trees and came out to this cliff that was just a sheer drop down into the ocean.
Right.
It was like black lava rock. And then the ocean itself was hitting the cliff so intensely that it was churning this deep blue color, really frothy. And, I really felt there was moments I was like, oh.
Like you just wanted to jump in.
Like I wanted to jump in.
You knew that.
Yeah. I was like, no.
That would be the end.
No. It really did feel like this moment was like the sirens were calling, for my death. They're like, come on.
Yeah, no, I know that feeling for sure. I remember feeling like that, being out on the ocean with whales and just humpback whales and like so wanting to just jump in with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just hard to contain that sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, ocean against like cliff/giant rocky formations is so different from like beach ocean.
Yeah.
Right. And it just like, it took me by surprise because, I mean, I'd been by the ocean before, but like this was just like, whoa, this is like a really powerful.
It's powerful.
Smokes.
Yeah. Different expression of water.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild. I mean, Hawaii's like the most isolated place on earth, surrounded by thousands of miles of ocean. So, and we get it from all directions.
Yeah.
High surf right now. There's surfing in Maui.
Yeah.
As we speak. Yeah. The champion. I don't know what surf championship.
Oh,
But yeah, it's going on right now. Big wave surfing. Yeah.
Did you ever surf?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I boogie boarded, and I mean, I've gotten on a surfboard, but I never took it up.
Yeah.
I always kind of fantasized about it, but maybe one day,
Yeah.
if I'm not too old by the time I get back, and have time to take up the sport.
Yeah.
So you were there,
Yeah.
and you said until high school.
Yeah.
And then,
Well, were your parents artists at all? Did they make things? Were they creative? Are they creative people?
Yeah. So my mom passed away many years ago,
Okay.
but she was creative, but not really with her hands,
Sure.
in other ways. My dad, though, I would consider him an artist in the way that he's a builder. So he made a life in Hawaii building houses and, from design, like he'll design it. So architect and builder and carpenter and, interior designer, almost landscaper, kind of the whole thing. And so he's very artistic.
Nice.
Yeah. And before he got into carpentry, he made jewelry for a while here in New Mexico before they moved to Hawaii. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And were you kind of moved to do anything as a young child, drawing, anything like that?
Yeah, all the time. I mean, I was always with color. Colors have always been my thing. So, I have lots of memories of painting and coloring. Pretty much anything I could do artistically. I spent a lot of time alone as a kid. I have an older brother, but there's like a 10-year gap between us. So
I know about that.
it was a lot of me time. Like maybe I'd be with my mom and she'd be working, but I'd be coloring or drawing or doing something with my imagination. And I grew up playing music as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I grew up with violin and also ukulele. Yeah.
Nice.
And dance and hula.
So all of it.
Yeah.
You're just surrounded
those
by
things.
the creative expression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Within those containers, hula is, of course, like group, right? Like you're dancing in a halau in a school. And then we performed like for tourists, publicly, like weekly. So yeah. That was from I think 4 years old, I started hula. And by the time I was maybe 8 or 9, I was dancing at luau's, which are basically, a big, just a big event, right, for tourists that they put on, gathering and eating and, music and dance. So, and that was very performative. Yeah. Lots of makeup and dress up and flowers and yeah. And I continued with hula all through high school, basically.
And you're an 80 baby, right?
Yeah.
We are too.
Yeah.
We're all 80 babies?
We're all around the same years, yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, it was a good time to be in Hawaii. I'm glad I mean, it's always a good time, but I'm really glad I could experience that and have my childhood be in that, in those years, just because life was simpler. And yeah, it was really good.
Yeah. Kara has a older brother.
Yeah, he's 11 years older.
Oh, okay, so you get it.
I get it. Yeah, so it's like the first part of your life, you have a sibling, and then you're kind of an only child. But even in the first part of your life, you're kind of an only child.
Yeah, especially if you have a brother that like doesn't want anything to do with you.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, and you just want to follow him everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
Why did your parents move to Hawaii? Is there a connection?
I think they just fell in love with it.
Okay.
The story is something like my mom found out they were there on vacation, and I think she found out she was pregnant with me while they were there, and 2 years later we ended up there. So, but they were just drawn to the place.
Yeah. Okay.
And you came back to New Mexico after high school? or during high school?
No, I didn't come back to New Mexico until quite later.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, I would come back so my dad's family is all from New Mexico.
mm-hmm.
And I had a really close relationship with my grandma, my dad's mom. So we would come to visit, definitely like on Christmas holiday and then as I got a little bit older, I would come during the summers. My parents just put me on a plane and,
Mm-hmm.
I'd come to Albuquerque and then they'd pick me up. My aunt or my grandma would pick me up and I'd spend like my whole summer there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and then my mom was from Ireland.
Mm.
So we would go, I had kind of an unconventional childhood in that way, right? With parents from two different places and then growing up in Hawaii and traveling a lot, like, coming to New Mexico to be with my dad's family and then also going to Ireland to be with my mom's family.
That makes me think of the postcard that you had in the gallery when it first opened. It was like a migrations postcard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's still
Millennia
on
of
our
Migrations.
website, on our about page. I use that as sort of like an image of, it represents a lot of what happens here in the artists that show here.
Yeah, that's the North America, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Americas and then footprints going all the way around the Americas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you were a well-traveled child.
I was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a passport at like 6 weeks old. Yeah. Very privileged in that way.
Mm-hmm. 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 Maybe you could speak to how that you feel like informed you as a person and as an artist to travel so much and be amongst different cultures in that way.
Yeah, well, I think it exposed me to different cultures. That's exactly what it did. And so it really broadened my worldview and, also made me question my identity within that. Like, well, who am I? How can I belong to all of this and what is my place in this? So, yeah, it was, growing up in Hawaii, but not having a cultural tie, to the place, but also feeling like I'm so much of the place, right? Especially with practicing, hula and that tradition. And yeah, as you spend time in Hawaii, I think it's common for many outsiders too, to after spending time, like if they really resonate, then they, the land just like takes you in and like you really become part of it and you really feel it's you and you're, you develop this really beautiful relationship. So that was innate. Like, I think I just like absorbed that as a kid, right? As kids do. But I knew I wasn't like, also I was like different from local culture, culturally speaking, ethnically speaking. So I was always like different. And then I have, an Irish mom and she had an Irish accent. And like, well, my mom's not even, she's not like even white American, right? So yeah, it was complex. There are a lot of layers. And I think as a kid, I was sensitive to all that and like questioning my identity at a very early age, like, well, where do I belong, and who am I? And yeah, there's some fun stories from my family of, like they remind me about those. Like I would be asking like, well, I'm Irish, right? And they'd be like, no, you're Mexican, tease me about it. So yeah, it was complex, but I think very broadening. And I feel because of all of those experiences traveling as a kid and also like traveling alone, I mean, it's one of my favorite things to do. And, I feel like I can go anywhere pretty much, and alone or not alone, but yeah, it's just, let's do it.
Yeah. I think it's so important, for I'll just speak for myself. But to sort of find those places of nuance of identity, right? I mean, I don't have, two distinctly different cultural backgrounds, but in terms of just like, thinking about ourselves as like, it can be easy to sort of flatten into like, this is the thing that I am, and sort of stick with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for myself, like when I kind of like tease it apart and like get into subtleties and like, well, this might be a part of who I am, or, what influenced me, but like there's all these other layers too, and I think for me, when I let go of trying to like pin it down to something, concrete or singular, it's like maybe not as like coherent in certain ways, but it's like definitely more rich, and I feel like my experience of not just identity, but like how I can be with others is more rich as well. But I think that it's, from, most of my friends who are, immigrants and come from this and that, and how does it, it really presents a challenge. Yeah.
Yeah, but it can also be limiting, right?
Yeah.
Like you're saying. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. You said the question, where do I belong? And then I had the question arise, it's like, and what does belonging mean?
Mm-hmm.
What does it mean to belong? And what does that feel like? And how do we know that we are belonging?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of goes back to what Frank was saying earlier about that intuitive. Like, I think you just feel it, you know it, it's something in your bones, or, the people around you.
Yeah.
Those feelings that you have when you belong to a community, right? Or your family or a place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting because when you were talking about the layers, Frank, and the complexity and richness, and I think you said something like, it might not be as coherent, but I actually was thinking it's like the feeling is of coherence.
Sure. Yeah.
When one feels that belonging.
Maybe cohesive? I don't know. There is a distinction, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So you left the land of flowers, and then where did you go?
Oh, we could take a journey.
Let's take a migratory journey.
Well, I first went to California. So after high school, I took like a year off. And my first, experience away from home at university was in California, in Santa Cruz, University of California. And I stayed there for about a year, and I knew I wanted to go abroad. So to do an abroad program with the University of California, you had to be a junior standing. So I basically did 2 years in my freshman year, so I could participate the following year. And then I went to Spain. I really wanted to be in a Spanish-speaking place. Again, like going back to my dad's family, and Spanish being a heritage language, but that being fractured, within our family because of, the culture here in New Mexico, and, assimilating into English speaking only. But I really felt that, and maybe that was part of that identity seeking as a kid, wanting to, again, like that belonging or identify, with a particular culture. So I had to relearn Spanish, which I did mostly in high school. That was my first opportunity because we don't have, many Spanish-speaking people in Hawaii, so there's not like bilingual schools and whatnot. There is, of course, for Hawaiian language. So I went to Spain, and I thought I was going to be there the entire year, but it didn't work out because of like a logistic issue with a credit or something like that, which was annoying for me. And so I was like, oh, I don't need to be part of an American university. I'm just going to like stay here. And I don't want to talk forever about all the like details of what happened after that. But basically also because of, my mom being Irish, I had dual citizenship, or I could, and Ireland had just become part of the EU around that time. That was like early 2000s. So, you know, that idea was in my mind for a while of, well, I could be I could live in Europe and go to school in Europe and not pay exorbitant, tuition as an out-of-state student in California, which was kind of ridiculous. So then I ended up having to take a break from university for a while because of that, that issue. And also, like, my mom got kind of sick during that time. So there was a lot of family dynamics. And I think I returned to Hawaii eventually. I stayed in Europe for a little bit, went back to Hawaii. I really enjoyed Spain and thought I could go to university there and study art. So that was always the plan, was to, do art as a major. And there, like, it's almost like an art school because, by the time you get to university level, usually you're prepared, from high school. By if you're on an art track, you're already doing a lot of art. And then you could have to test in, and their testing process was kind of insane though. Like, I would have had to have learned Latin and tested in Latin, Spanish history, Spanish art history, European art history.
Wow.
As well as like math and science. And, it was like SATs on steroids.
Wow. Wild.
And I still maintained that idea for a number of years. And, like, my mom passed away during that time as well. And so there was just obviously a lot of life shifting. But I still like held on to that idea of going back to Spain and like going to the, pursuing an art degree. And then, it came down to getting the books to study for this exam. And I thought I could do it. I had a few months to study and then fly to Miami to take an exam. That was the closest area I could go to. And I opened the Latin book, and then I think I just immediately started crying, realizing, oh, this is a dream that maybe is not realistic. But it, a number of years had passed.
Yeah.
And I really did try to knock that door down as much as I could.
Yeah.
And still wanting to be in a Spanish-speaking country, I was getting all these signals. I did make it to Spain, right? But even living there, I started meeting Mexican people, and I had a dream in Nahuatl language, right? Wow. Like the first words, I was reading this book, and it had some Nahuatl words, and then I was like dreaming in this language, and I could speak it, and so then Mexico's beating the drum, right? Yeah. And by the time I realized, okay, Spain was unrealistic. Why don't I just go to Mexico? And then everything fell into place. Like, my neighbor had a relative there that I could stay with, and there was a school that accepted, American like financial aid, basically student loans. And I sent them an email, and they replied right away. Whereas Spain was like, I'd call them and they'd like hang up on me because I don't know, they were pretty rude. And then I'd even have Spanish friends call, and they'd hang up on them. So, the internet wasn't as good as it is now, right? So you could barely get any information. So it was really this like digging, like, what do I have to do to get in? So that was kind of my experience. And then Mexico happened like so easy. So from California, and then, some years later, went to art school in Mexico for a year.
Now, when did you get the sense that like art was the track?
That was probably an early age, probably by the time I started high school.
Yeah. So when you were in high school, you were spending a lot of energy making things.
Yeah, high school was like my first chance to take electives. I don't even think we had electives in middle school. And so I could take art and Spanish, right? So like I knew those two things. Those were my electives, and I did drama as well. So yeah, it was trying to get into the art classes, which were pretty full. There was only one art teacher. I think I was put into ceramics, which I didn't really want to be in ceramics. I knew I wanted like painting, right? But I had to take ceramics for a few years until I finally was able to do drawing and painting. And then, so I think I always knew that would be my track in like higher ed.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
And when you were talking about your experience with trying to belong in Spain, and it's just like, no.
Yeah.
Did it, I mean, I had this sense that there was this like romantic, and you used the word dream, like a romantic dream of your life and how it was going to look. And
Sure. I tend to be that way.
Yeah. And then did it, when the flip happened to go to Mexico, did you feel very open to that? Or was there a period where you're like, okay, I have to let this other dream go? Or did it feel seamless?
It was pretty seamless. You know, like I said, it took me getting that book in Latin and like flipping through it to have it really nailed in. Because I was just like so attached to going to Spain, you know. And I made it there twice, right? I made it once with the University of California and then another time on my own. But then I had to come back. I had to leave. But yeah, it was pretty seamless at that point. But this was after many trials and tribulations. Yes. Yeah. And Mexico was familiar. So, you know, again, growing up with my parents who were travelers, right? They had spent time in Mexico before I was born. They took me to Mexico as like a baby and as a kid. And I continued going as, you know, also first for the language acquisition. I spent a summer there in Oaxaca, actually, as I think I was a sophomore or junior in high school. I spent the summer, stayed with a family and took Spanish classes. So I was, familiar with Mexico. And it was, so in that way, it was seamless.
Yeah.
And I was excited. Like I was happy for it because, again, I had been kind of getting these signs, right?
Dreaming in the language. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's just surrendering to it. Okay.
Yeah. Mexico was like, hey,
Moira,
come
back home.
Come on.
Yeah.
And so you ended up at IIA for printmaking.
Yes.
When did you learn about printmaking?
Actually in Mexico. Yeah. So that was my first printmaking experience. And I immediately loved it. Had a really great teacher too, who unfortunately only stayed at that school for like that first semester and then left. And but that was my introduction.
And so it just really grabbed you and you were like, this is what I want to focus on.
Yeah, at least in school, you know, I mean, again, going back to the painting and the colorism, and which I think is pretty fundamental in my work, that I felt that was something more innate, but printmaking was a skill I could learn because there's so many aspects of printmaking and techniques, and you really, to be a decent printmaker, I think you need to learn technique.
Totally.
So, that I think I gravitated towards it because of that.
And there's a communal aspect to it. The whole kind of process lends itself to working with others.
Sure. Yeah.
Which painting can be solitary.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Mexico has such a rich printmaking history.
Yeah. Do you feel like, or can you name like how working with something so technical might have influenced your work?
The painting work?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Or in any way?
Yeah. Well, I think it's the precision, right? Because I mean, at least the teachers that I had and the way studios were run, you know, like this is how you do it. This is the technique for this, you know, wood block, or this is how you manage a press. Or this is how you care for the press. This is how you care for the materials. So very precise, right? And like this one way of doing something and not that experimental. And I think I have like some of that tendency within myself anyway, you know, like wanting things to look maybe a certain way, right? Polished or whatever it might be. So I appreciated that. And I can see that. I mean, in my painting, at least these paintings that are exhibited, you know, there's a very meticulous quality and like precise line work. So I think printmaking probably influenced or had there's crossover there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lines are crisp.
It's crisp.
Very crisp.
Yeah.
Yeah. I appreciate that. I get a thrill from that as well.
I'm glad you like it.
I do. But then there's all that undulation happening and within the crisp precision. You capture undulations.
The movement as well.
The movements, yeah. Yeah. There's both in them. Yeah.
And then you ended up at UNM in a kind of different capacity, yeah? I mean, more focused on language?
Yeah, Latin American Studies. It was a master's in Latin American Studies with a focus in art history and Indigenous studies. And that was something I actually wanted to do, like while I was a student at IA, wanted to kind of pursue that degree. But yeah, again, it took a number of years to actually do it. I entered that area, that department, because I really wanted to study the work, like the themes in my work and Mesoamerican art from an academic perspective. And I thought that would, you know, just enrich my work, which I think it has. Right. So there's like more of a research component, and I think I understand it as a whole. And again, from an academic perspective, before that, it was my own experiences with the art itself, you know, in Mexico, and that intuitive sense, right, and what that like brought up in me, and how I responded, and how I engaged with it. And then, you know, maybe reading what I could or understanding what I could intellectually. But yeah, going into an academic arena was a whole different story.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, I also had the opportunity to finally study Nahuatl. So that was something that, since that dream that I had, right, I was like, oh, I need to learn this language because I can apparently speak it. Yeah.
Or someone was saying, hey, through the dreams.
Yeah.
It's time to learn this language.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. What I heard was there was the impulse or the innate sense with the paintings and the work was intuitive and very personal, but there was some part of you that wanted to put it in a cultural context and more like a place and time. Understand, because I've always been drawn to symbols. So, I mean, it's a language, really, right? Like Mesoamerican visual language. And I understood that's what it was, but I wanted to like deepen my knowledge of it. And yeah, the way through was just a lot of reading. Yeah. And I know you and I, Frank, we talked about having a show at that time, and I had no idea that it was just grad school was, you know, gonna be so much writing and reading, and I had no time. I was like fantasized. So the show that's up now those are the images I wanted to create while I was reading all this stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
That was how many years ago?
Many years ago. Well,
22?
No. Yeah, it was I received my MA in 22. So I started the program in 2019. And you know, the pandemic happened, right? So I think it was a really good use of my time, actually.
Yeah. To
be kind of in that cocoon and spending that much energy on learning and reading and writing and and Zoom classes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it was
having time and space to really gestate something. Yeah.
and take my time with writing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people, a lot of artists who we've interviewed have talked about that. That period was a time of great gestation and looking at what they were doing and figuring things out.
Yeah. And I did make, I couldn't really make art during the semesters, but I know during that summer, that was a high point of, maybe adding to prints I had already produced, right? And I started embroidering actually before the pandemic, but I did more embroidery work on prints and finished the paintings and started new paintings during that summer at least. Yeah. But it was intense. I was not prepared for that, going to art school and then doing a humanities it was a lot.
Did you have moments where you opened the textbook and started crying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It hurts.
It's a lot of words.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's a lot of words.
It's a lot. I had enough of the words, It's like, give me images.
Yeah.
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 Well, your show title has a word, Xochiyotl.
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 Yeah. Yeah.
And meaning flowering. Maybe you can explain a little bit about the word and then just sort of how you're exploring flowers in this show.
Sure, yeah. So Xochiyotl is a Nahuatl word, and it means the essence or the being of flowers. And all of the works, the majority of the works on exhibit, the paintings on canvas, they have flowers, they have that theme of flowers. And I was really inspired by the term Xochiyotl, which is two words. So Xochitl is flower and Cuicot is song.
Cuicot.
You don't really pronounce that TL. So it's kind of just like a silent. So Xochiyotl floricanto in Spanish it's like a semantic couplet that then those two words, you bring them together and they have combined meaning. And that can be artistic expression. It can be, visual arts, performing arts, orality, narration. But it also has like this contradictory element, the flower and song, and flowers being kind of like this transformation and also associated with war and death, right? So those are the elements that are kind of portrayed in the work. Of course, also flowers are beauty and preciousness and vitality as well. So that's kind of the theme I was exploring and the meaning of that. Yeah.
And each piece is in relationship to an element as well.
That's right. Yeah. So the 4 elements. So we have flowering water, and that's portrayed through flowers and kind of water droplets and tears. Flowering knives, which is I've associated that with the air element, and also that Xochiyotl, which is a term that means flower war. So, it's this aspect, like war was really ritualized by the Aztec, and they would adorn themselves in, regalia with flowers, right? And warriors were considered like flowers. They were, and that if they died in battle, they would go to this flowery afterlife, right? So, the flower theme kind of runs deep in their cosmology and, in this reality, but also what is beyond this reality. Sort of like a flower world, where fallen warriors would go to this place, women who died in childbirth. And apparently it was, this beautiful realm of color and vividness and, butterflies and hummingbirds and dew and water and, abundant life and flowers.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it's like like a heavenly paradise, right?
I'm also thinking of when we go to funerals.
Sure.
We bring flowers. We lay flowers on the casket.
Yeah.
Or down at the grave. That's
Right.
that's something that's like throughout all cultures
across the world.
Yeah, across the world, flowers and death.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you see that, of course, so much in Mexico during Day of the Dead, right? The offerings of
marigolds.
flowers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's obviously just still something that's expressed so widely in that culture today.
There's one piece I want to kind of spotlight, the titular piece, the Xochiyotl piece.
Xochiyotl, yeah.
And it stands out to me in a way because it feels like it has like all the concentration on like one large form. It does have the sort of flower on top and the kind of molcajete sort of shape at the bottom.
Yeah.
Right. But it's very like it takes up most of the canvas.
Right.
Can you talk about that one a little bit and where that one kind of comes from?
Yeah, so that the main form, the central form is the heart, and then a flower emerging, a passion flower like emerging from the heart. And yeah, I did conceive of that heart being inside of a molcajete, right? Or a hollow bowl, even like a sacrificial bowl. Yeah, so the hearts, again, going back to the elements, I correlated that with fire. So there's also a flame inside of that heart. Yeah, and, I think all of the paintings took on my own, in a way, they're like a self-portrayal, but also a collective portrayal. So yeah, I kind of like personified my paintings or vice versa, right? So saw myself in that image, right, of the heart, like this emerging heart, solitary heart, and then this flower, this burning flame and the flower coming out of it. So yeah, that's where that came from. But I had started the smaller pieces before making it. So yeah, that was kind of the trajectory of where that piece in particular came to be. Yeah.
It really glows. Like it has that sort of like aura behind it as well. And it just like, I don't know, it has a real aura about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Kind of like a luminous quality, right? Like you're saying vibration, the color is vibrating. And that's part of that flowery realm, right? If we're talking about this flower world that, Mexican cultures, believed in, yeah, it was a luminous place filled with color.
Yeah.
And I've been listening to, near-death experiences and accounts of that. And, I'm just really interested in that. And people speak about colors, like colors are way more vivid, right? On, the other side, right? So maybe that was what they were actually, seeing or alluding to in that conception of a flower world, right? Or life beyond this life. So yeah, that's a quality that I wanted to bring into the work with colors, that luminous quality, which I think, you see that's also apparent in like Mesoamerican art, even though you're going back so many generations, right? So many years ago, you can still see like that vivid, whether it's a mural, most of it's been restored at this point, but even just looking at photographs online, there's some really great scans now of the codices that do exist. And I can still sense like that vividness of color, that saturation of color. So that's something I'm trying to replicate. Yeah. And then I know earlier or yesterday, Frank, we were talking about the materiality, right, of the paintings. So again, going back to Mexican codices or works on paper. So painted works on whether it was a mate paper or, animal skin, deer hide. This is what the codices were made out of. And the material studies that they've done now show that the majority were painted with flowers or organic material. And they actually had that luminescent quality. So that luminescence comes from the flowers itself. So yeah, even though I'm not painting with those organic paints, that is something I'm conscious of, like trying to bring that luminosity into the work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there, did you have something?
Well, yeah, when you came in earlier and I was standing in front of your paintings and you asked me, I said that they were pulsing. There was a pulsing quality, and it's something about when the color does become so alive, it stops just being color. It becomes it was like having an altered state of being, like a being quality that overtakes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that response because yeah, I think that's the idea, that it is alive, in a way. It's not just a representation of something, but it can also be experienced.
A portal. I was having a portal experience in front of there.
Way to go, Kara. I love it. Yeah.
And then we have some work on paper in the show too.
Yes.
So a couple pieces that made their way through Hecho and Canyon a few years ago.
Yeah.
Make their return.
Yes.
You spent a good amount of time with the calendar works, right? Like working with those lithographs. And you say the word. I'll probably mispronounce it.
It's okay.
Tonalpahuali?
Yes, very good. Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Count of days. That's the translation. Tonalpahuali. That's the 260-day count, ritual, divinatory calendar. And so there's 20 different images or signs within that calendar, and correlated with 13 numbers. So 20 times 13 is 260. But these depict the different 20 days within the calendar. Some of them are animals, like half of them, 10 of them are different types of animals, like monkey and lizard and crocodile and jaguar, and then there's another 10 that are elementals, like water and wind, and flower is one of the signs as well. And then some of these prints have embroidery. So there was a pairing of kind of my own interpretation of the meaning of the sign itself, the image. So the graphic image then paired with like a traditional Mesoamerican textile design. And so those colors, the colors I've chosen with the textile design correlate somehow in my interpretation of the meaning of the sign itself. Yeah. So like, I know there's a monkey, right? And monkey is associated with play and the arts, actually. So it's an expression of music and dance. And so, if it was a monkey day, then that would be like that energy would be encouraged to make art or, to dance or have a concert or something. And so the textile design is kind of this spiral, like this intersecting spiral of two colors that kind of just reminds me of that play between artists and different mediums. So that's what those pieces are about.
And I love that, because you made each symbol with their own individual plate.
Yeah.
I mean, you were able to create both like one that incorporates all the plates and then do them all individually with or without embroidery.
Right.
It really allowed you to kind of like explore those images in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, definitely. It was nice to make different editions of that work. And then, I chose one edition like to embroider, and then the others have just the graphic image.
Yeah. And then the star skirt. Yeah. That one, it feels really complex. I mean, it looks complex too, but like there's a lot of thought and energy and ideas behind it.
And it's massive.
And it's large.
And it's very large.
It's pretty large, yeah. It's a woven piece using a mate paper, which is traditional Mexican paper made. It's from the fig tree species. And like I said, that was used to make codices, also clothing. And I conceive of it as like a really large garment. It's called star skirt. and it's for the star goddess Citlalique. So it has imagery related to her creation story, and stories related to the creation that she brought forward. And it's complex. Some of the I had to make 2 paintings and then cut them up, right? Have like the warp and weft of a weaving and put them back together. So some of the imagery is hidden in that weaving process.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
With the weaving, were you able to, I mean, I'm imagining that was a little stressful to weave something that large. How was that process to do that?
Yeah, it was challenging.
Yeah,
it was challenging. I had to do it, on the floor of my studio. So like even just on the body, right? Like bending over.
Yes.
I have carpet, which is nice, right? That helped. But again, getting something that large. And basically I cut it into, I think it's like 1.5 inch strips. So they're each, the vertical and horizontal are the same width. So that kind of made it easy it's a simple weave. It's under over.
Mm-hmm.
And then it produces like a grid of like squares. But yeah, like physically doing it, I just started on one side. I started on the left side and then moved from left to right. And it's simple, like under over. Thank goodness I didn't have to actually create like a geometric design, right? The painting does it. Like that was the idea of painting at first, because the design, the painted image like creates that design. But it's, because I'm not a machine, the weaving itself, starts warping, right? And the amate paper is actually pretty fragile as well. But I prep that before, even to take on paint. Like I feel you have to prep the amate paper because it can easily tear, and some of it is the consistency isn't uniform. Like it can there can be a really thin piece, mixed in with like a thicker fiber. So that too like leads to inconsistencies in the weaving process. So yeah, I don't know if stressful, but it was challenging.
Yeah.
It was, I had to like take a few pieces out and kind of, I think I wove it. I had to weave it a few times to get it right. Yeah. So I think I maybe did half and then realized, I need to take this out, or there started to be gaps, even if they are like a 1/16 of an inch, it matters, right? With the whole design. Because I obviously had painted it first, so I had a center point, and the imagery I wanted to be in the center. So that can start migrating, and it did a little bit, So if you come to see the work, like look for that.
Which way did it migrate?
Look for that migration. Yeah, look for the hand. It is uniform, but obviously I made it, so yeah. I think you can see that too. There's handwork in there. Yeah.
Sweat, tears, and bruises.
Yeah. No blood, thankfully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is amate, is it beaten like kapa to get the...
Yes. I haven't actually like seen the process, firsthand, but I think it is. It's like a mulberry paper, right? Beaten that same way. And there are communities in central Mexico, mostly like in Puebla region, where, their families have been making amate paper for a very long time. So that's where the paper comes from. I bought it through a U.S. supplier, but it comes from those communities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Should we go into some of our
fun
ones?
Let's do it.
You want to...
All of this was not fun.
No,
now we're getting fun.
Now we're getting to the fun part.
Yeah.
The kind of the what we call them, slow balls.
Softballs.
Slow balls.
Slow balls. Let's see. Do I have them?
I think I have them.
You start then. I'll try to find them.
And not just slow balls, but just like whatever.
Throw and catch.
throw and catch. What are you reading or listening to right now that's really inspiring, if anything?
Yeah, good question. I listen to, I've gotten into the habit since the pandemic, I think, of listening to a lot of podcasts and listening while I'm working, or washing the dishes or whatever it is. Listening to a lot of astrology podcasts. Yeah. So I think that's my major content and near-death experiences.
Are you a Taurus?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
Because Taurians really like to listen to near-death experiences.
Oh, do they?
Oh, that's not where I was going with that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's just something new that kind of popped in there, probably within the last month. I don't know, thinking of death maybe, but
Yeah.
but or the imagery in my work, kind of brought me there too, and what's going on in the world. But yeah, no, I'm a Cancer sun.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Pick a number.
Pick a number.
That's not the question. That's gonna get me. That's gonna get me the question.
Oh, okay. 13.
1 through 13.
Oh, 13. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, 13.
Sure.
Okay. Let's see. We're gonna start here. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. What would make you scream out loud?
Probably if you jumped on me and tickled me, or laugh really loud.
Oh my gosh.
Or the ceiling fell down.
Lots of different things. Lots of different things.
Or the painting shrunk.
Oh no.
I had this dream. I had a dream that the one of the paintings shrunk.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like to how big?
So the one with the skull.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my brother was involved in the dream, and it's 4 feet by 4 feet, and it something like it was out in the sun or something, and it just shrunk into this small little.
Like the sun shrunk it?
Yeah, the dream shrunk it. Yeah. So I was kind of freaked out about that painting for a while. Like, oh no, I got to keep it in a safe place. So I had some paintings kind of on, on a small table, kind of like on a pedestal. And I started taking them down at night and putting them on the floor just so nothing
would shrink.
Would happen.
Makes me think of Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
Drinking the different potions.
Yeah.
It's funny. What's a piece of advice that somebody's given you that you've actually used? That was a
probably
good piece of advice.
A lot of things, like for art or just in general.
Anything.
Oh, well, my mom's favorite. We could end it with this.
Yeah.
My mom's favorite advice, or the thing that's sticking to me, is rules are made to be broken. I know, that was the mother I had. Irish rebellious mother. Yeah.
The times we
But
were
I don't know
living
if
in
I
now.
really follow that,
Yeah.
I follow the rules, so I don't know if,
But it's maybe it's something that you return to and think about, and maybe
Yeah, when I'm feeling courageous and more like my mom, I'll just break that rule.
Yeah.
Well, rules don't need to be there. Yeah.
Or how do we already break our rules, Or what rules?
We make them,
We
right?
make the rules,
Yeah.
and how are we already breaking them?
And there's some absurd rules out there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I had someone a couple of days ago say this thing that just stuck with me. It has stuck with me. And it's really funny, but she said, if you can't convince them, confuse them. And that has been staying with me.
That sounds like a riddle too. Yeah.
I know. I told her, I was like, that sounds like a Zen koan.
Yeah.
And something about the feeling convinced about one thing and the rule and then getting totally confused
Mm-hmm.
by your own rule, and maybe coming out on the other side with a different perspective.
Yeah.
I think that makes me think about like needing to like come at things sideways sometimes. Like if I'm like in a rigid place, or if, you know, there's a rigid problem, it's like going at it in the way that's like front facing or confrontational can oftentimes create more rigidity. So it's like sort of coming around the side, or like stopping and doing something completely different can oftentimes just reset.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, your show opens this Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. And we'll do an artist talk on the Sunday. So, okay, we should give dates here. The 6th is the opening, February the 6th, 5 to 7.
2026.
2026. And then Sunday the 8th from 12 to 1:30, we'll do an artist talk and donuts and coffee and music. John Francis Mustaine will be playing. Yay. He said he knows you
I know John
from the past.
Yeah. Well, we did some art together.
Yeah.
That's
cool. And then I'll do my best. We can get this out by the opening.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Tonight.
I don't know. Maybe not tonight.
But maybe tomorrow.
Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah. Thank you, Moira.
Oh, thanks guys.
Moira.
Yeah.
Fun.
It's been real fun.
Yeah.